hiding them?
Okay, I'll tell you. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
She's married to the Muffin Man.
Ooh. Trying to get this all locked up here. Pang stockpiles. What's up, dude? Alright. Well, this first time trying to stream vertically and gosh. Trying to get my stream up on the TV now. Do. Oddly enough, I can't really look at my home screen. Okay, there we go. Cool. Connecting to live chat. All right, successfully connected. It'll pop up new comments every time. What up, Liberty Bleeds? Hearing the Home Depot music in your head. All right, so we got let me double check on this one. I don't want to fuck this one up. So Home Depot, you're thinking like where the pours get it done. something like that. I'm gonna redo this one after I pour the other one that I have right here. I gotta get my brush out. What up, Emerald? Only happy mistakes. Bob Ross. All right. That looks like a good angle. It's always nice to have a good angle for the dangle, you know? Would be hot enough. Yeah, looks good. All right. First one done. Whoop. It rolled away. Can't believe it. All right. That should be enough, but we'll still put the big boy in here so that can be warm for the next round. All right, so this tank is really low, so I'm hoping I don't have to exchange the tank before I get to pour a new one. Because, like I said, it's getting pretty low. You made that look easy? I mean, hey, I do what I do. All right. Yeah, man, the propane is very fucking quick. I cooled down on this side a little bit, mainly because this mold is really thin. One of the thinnest and widest molds that I have in my arsenal. So it's a very thin area to push silver in before it cools down. So propane heats up silver a lot faster than electric. That's why I will never go back to electric again. But yeah, once you enclose casting, I know you do open casting, okay? But enclosed, all you have to do is pour. You have to pour as quick as possible, hot as possible. When you dump it into the spout, you know, don't have to worry about where you're putting it. I've done open pouring before, but I don't like doing it because when you open pour, you get about 70-ish% of your full detail. So if you have something highly detailed, um, you're barely going to get any of that detail. No matter how hot your metal is, it's going to lack in detail very harshly because it has none of that cabin pressure within the cavity of sand. So that cabin pressure, which I like to say, cabin pressure within the sand pushes that silver into all the details. Fine, fine details. Without that pressure, you're going to get barely any details. Cavity pressure sounds painful. I mean, it depends on what kind of cavity you're talking about there, LBS. You used to having cavity searches or something? What's going on over there? All right. Before I go back inside and prep this, I'm going to clean this off and check it out. But yeah, you don't have any force on your silver if you have open floor. That's why I don't like doing it because I like the details. You know, that's what I uh, live for. You know, pour for in the best details possible. If you have a small name on your mold, definitely want to get that name on there. You know. Yeah, it's hard. I've been working on one piece like 5 times, half 4. Yeah, yeah, man. If you have any questions, my email's in my description. I know it is best to do things on your own, but it is also good to always get advice. I mean, I'm still fresh at it. Don't get me wrong, but you never know. I can always try to give my insight. I'm very fresh at pouring, but I've also learned a lot as well. All right, let me see if I can get that detail. There we go. Move it over a little bit. There we go. Move to the left. Yeah, this is my Christmas dragon mount. I think it was called the Jolly Hunter's Forge or Hunter's Keep. Yeah, Jolly Hunter's Keep. And see, it got a little cold right there. See how that's smooth? All of the smooth spots right here, it's fine. Smooth right here is meaning that it's cold. Got too cold. It poured over here. By the time it creeped over here, it got cold. Lack details up here, but I can fix that. I can rough it up, make it blend with the sandblasting. So I do have my headphones in, so I'm guessing you guys can hear me better with headphones. So yeah. All right, let me put that down. Let me clean up a little bit here. All right, let me go get my brush. Let me go get my brush. Or I can just brush it inside. I'll be right back. Let me make sure there's no material or sand. Be right back. I'll probably be disconnecting from my phone soon. From the Bluetooth. All right. Dig on your diamond plate clad bench. Yeah, dude. I got this from my work. They make tread plate. That's what they call it. Tread plate. All right, that looks good. Looks a lot better. So when you're in closed casting, it's always best to look down your entrance hole to make sure there's enough room for your silver to flow. I've made that mistake so many fucking times. It's ridiculous. So I've had to do many repours before, um, just from not realizing I didn't have any room. I think that was one of my biggest reoccurring mistakes. Not knowing that I have enough room. So, Pang, if you're still here, I would say, like I said, I don't have very much experience with open forecasting. I don't do that very much at all. But you lose a lot of heat with sand. So at one point, I was thinking about uh, so getting a big graphite mold. Okay, the big squares, like kilos or something like that, really wide. Here, something along the lines of these. So something really wide and putting the sand in that, okay? Because graphite holds the heat. It captures the heat. Sand in itself can disperse the heat. It does not hold the heat. That's why when you sand cast an open pore and you try to get ripples, you can't because it cools down faster. And if you use this and you tap it, you can get the ripples because it holds in the heat. So I was thinking putting the sand in here in the graphite molds themselves and testing that out to where you can put the design on the bottom, but also keep that heat in with the graphite. Kind of like double it up so you get the detail from the sand and you get the heat, safety heat from the graphite. It's only a theory that I was thinking about trying someday, but I haven't really gotten around to try it. So I don't know. I know you do a lot of open pouring, so if you want to try that, you could. You can go. You can get the details and try getting ripples. You know what I mean? Because I notice a lot of people open pour because of the ripples. They try to get them ripples, and that's mainly why they open pour. Because most of them know that if you open pour, you don't get that, like I said, pressure, and you don't get very many details when you compare enclosed and closed casting, or closed casting like this and open casting uh, comparisons. Because, yeah, detail. Ooh. I think you're right because I was watching the tea and I switched to cupcake pans and it turned out really better. Yeah, cupcake pans, yeah. Those the cupcake pans hold that heat, that aluminum type of pan made for cooking is gonna hold that heat. So but I don't know if you can get ripples with cupcake pans. So you might be able to get the ripples again with graphite and a sand cast in between or in the yeah, ripples. Liberty Bleeds is drooling over there because of ripples. Got ripples for days, bro. Got ripples for days. And just hear the Halo uh Halo voice guy. Revenge. So here's I think this one was 140 grams. I'll show you. This is the Mafia, the Drake Mafia boss. You tried no ripples, yeah. But I'm gonna move it over here. So yeah, this is the Drake Mafia boss. I'm gonna see if I can't. There we go. 140-gram prototype. I need to stamp it and tone it. And we got the 2-ounce. Captain, fuck around and find out. That one seems to be very popular, so. I think that one came out really good. I noticed there was some loose sand right there. Made that little pit. I gotta finish. I got like 2 pours left in my 16-ounce order that I have to fill. So one of those is in here. This one is for a custom design for a customer in Australia. So we'll see that. We'll see how that goes. I've tried this one 2 times previously, so then I gotta go back in and prep more cast, more sand preps. All right, I think that's just about ready. I hope. Give her a try. And yeah, I'm used to the heat as well, because I work around furnaces, like 100-degree, multi-100-degree metal. So this actually feels really good. All right. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I had to make sure there was enough silver in there for the next pour. I didn't want to make that mistake again. All right. There it really is. There. Whoop. It definitely came out a lot faster than I was expecting. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I love it. Are you aiming for a certain ounce? Aiming for a certain ounce? You mean like for each pour? Oh yeah, that was definitely too thin of an entrance. Got too cold. See? It doesn't help that this is a really thin mold. There's not much room in the entrance. My logo pour, very thin. Hey, AZ Coins, what's up? So I have Maskman Metals print me off, or I tell him a certain ounce of mold that I want, per design, and I send him the design, the STL file, and then he sizes it with his programs, and then he sends it back to me so I can then print the mold off myself. It's not always exact, so, but it is close to the ounce that I want. So I tell him, hey, I want 1, 2, 5-ounce molds made for yada yada, and then I send him a file that I previously purchased online from my usual dealers that make them custom, and they send me the file, and then oh, that came out really good. Awesome. That foot almost got too cold. I think it survived. Sweet. Yeah, this one's really hard to do, like extremely, because it's got really narrow pieces, really small pieces. So I need to definitely be very careful. Very careful. All right. Oh, my wife is currently sleeping, so kind of hesitant on going inside. And talking, possibly making too much noise. Got lot more tired than I did quicker after work. We work night shift, so we got home at 8 a.m. I needed to do the pours, and she got too tired. What up, Enmar? What you doing, man? What up, ballers? We do be balling. All right. Got that. I'll take y'all inside, prep some molds. I will probably pour later on tonight. I'll give it a rest. Try to wake up and get that furnace going again. Yeah, because I don't want to have my sand outside, out in the garage. It gets really cold out here, so definitely later in the year and early next year, it's going to get cold. So, uh, got new mold glass being made right now. So, I'll be able to pump up production quicker when I get those made. All right. I'll be back to get y'all. Don't go nowhere now. All right. Let me get my propane shut off here. All right. Let me get these molds cut out. Show them off here. See how they went. So far, they look good. All of them except for that channel logo look good. All right. Make these. All right. Yeah, it definitely got too cold. I don't know. Maybe it'll survive. Who knows? I'll sandblast it and see how it looks. Might as well. Definitely needed more room for that silver to flow. All right. Show you these. All right. There's the double dragon. See if I can't get a good close up here. It doesn't look like the phone's going to capture it very good. All right. And we got the logo, YouTube channel logo. See, this one definitely got a lot cooler. See the shiny parts there. See better on the back. See the cooling areas. Got too cold. Looks like you got a question. What are you using on top of that metal? On top of the metal? What do you mean, like brushing it? So you can find these at the hardware store and stuff like that. I definitely see the difference in detail from open to close. Oh, on the desk? On top of the metal. Are you talking about this? Oh, it's just this upside down. So it's just here, I got extras somewhere. It's just tread plate upside down. I kind of got lazy and I used extra tread plate for the oh yeah, there. So this is what I asked for my job to make me. So you can request any size that they can cut for you, and then put it down there. So I needed a flat surface on top of the tread plate, so I just turned it over and just screwed it down. Not very good though, because it it was, yeah. Does the silver stick on it if were to spill? Not really. It can, I think, but I have wood. Oh, I have a wood platform that I just, do everything on top of when I make molds and stuff like that. But yeah, I usually pour on top of wood just in case it does end up sticking. But at the same time, if it does, and I get aluminum mixed in with it, and it like comes off with it, I'll just send it. I'll just put it in my scrap pile. This is where all my scrap silver is. You use fire brick and it sticks. Yeah, that's because of all the pits in it. So all of the little pits, they'll stick. But what up, SGT? How you doing, buddy? But yeah, fire brick, it'll definitely stick. All you gotta do is break it or pry it out. I don't know. I try not to pour on top of fire brick because of that. And I don't know, it's just not really a good platform, you know? But yeah, I mainly pour on top of wood. I didn't this time because all of my wood platforms are inside. So, all right, let me cut this off. I made one of the Christmas fireplaces, SGT. I lost like 4 ounces to fire brick. Hard lesson. You lost it? How did you lose it? You can always take it off and remelt it or break up the fire brick. Even if it falls on the ground, you can always recover it. It's never lost. And if it gets dirty, you can always send it off to somebody to purify it. I can purify my own silver too at my house, but a lot of times it's just easier to send it off to somebody and get it exchanged. I kept it, but hard to get off. Well, like I said, the fire brick is the most brittle thing. You can just hammer the fuck out of the fire brick and it'll separate, you know? That fire brick will eat my hammer if it steals my fucking silver. Hell no. Ain't nobody got time for that. Put some man into it. My hands aren't that strong. So I just, you know, fuck it. You saw that, huh? Yeah, that's what I get for making thick sprues, thick entrances. I need like a massive bolt cutter to cut my sprues. I just use a hacksaw on it. Try to weaken it first. Make a little slit, make a little cut. All right. I'm just kidding. Some are just impossible to cut with certain cutters. Yeah, man, I got little itty bitty baby ones. Good for, you know, this and that. Trimming, you know. Right. Cut, not butt. Right. See how thin the legs are and the arms are? Mr. Trippy Pants. Alright, let's put out the spray. Big boy spray. It hurts my hands sometimes too. Hurts my arms. So much cutting. Yeah, SGT's got the easiest email. Uh, don't get us started on Siappy Chappy's email, right, SGT? Or Mad Stacker's email. I think he did that just to have people ask why. Why the why? YMCA. A lot of people want to type in mad stacker at Gmail, but it's maddest stacker. Why? Because all the best people are. Ooh, that's just like, pew. Take out a camera or something. That'll do for now, at least. Oh, but yeah, SGT. I got a new Double Dragon mold. So this one's brand new. So it's going to be a new prototype. And we got the Christmas style fireplace. Clean that baby up. Get her ready for Christmas. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Yeah, I might be able to save this logo, or I might be able to. We'll see how it goes. Because with my sandblaster, it puts the texture on there for me. So even though it looks shiny and it started cooling, as long as those letters are in there still, it'll make it look all the same. All right. I'm glad the Mr. Chirpy Pants worked out. So, gonna get that baby looked at, clean it. So yeah, we got SGT if you want. I bought these on eBay. Okay, brand new scales. These are the new ones I started using. Very nice. It is super light capacity. So it's like grams of weight. Like you can weigh it down to the fine like 0.00 grams, and it goes up to 500 grams, I think is the max. I'm not really sure. But yeah, super high performance and low performance at the same time. All the units of measurement. So yeah, super nice one. Got them for like $12 on eBay. So if you want one, just let me know. All right, let's weigh the scrap. I'll sandblast these later. All right. Let's see how much we got left. Probably like 10 ounces. Oh no, plenty. 14, just over 14 ounces left of scrap. And I've got 2 ounces of trade with GSF whenever he sent that out. And then I got like $700 left. Maybe I can make a small order with somebody. Get some melters. All right, let's go inside and set up here. The details are awesome. I appreciate it, dude. All right, let's go. All right, let me show you. If you haven't seen it, the messy garage. I call my workshop super messy. I bought a new furnace, but it's got a weird valve on it, so I just used the lid, mainly what I needed. Anyways. Go into the house. Oh, shit. All right. Let's see here. Only problem with this is I don't know how to set this up here. Maybe like this. I think. Oops. No, that doesn't work. Let's see. Oh. Maybe this way, that way. We can test this out here. Nope, that's not gonna work. Um, hmm, maybe with this. Hmm. Uh-huh. Genius. I'm a mother trucking genius. Come on. Sorry for the boom, bam. There we go. Bougie. I don't know if that's gonna shake a lot though. It might. Hmm. I don't know. We'll see. See how she goes. My battery's 15%. I don't have a plug-in near me. Uh-oh. Might not be a good spot then. Uh, let me see if I can find a extension. If it works. Alright, I got one. Okay, it barely reaches to my phone. Okay. Oh, shoot. It is funny. So a lot of times I'll hook up my phone across from me and I'll watch stuff. Do this so I can focus on it. But that's the main reason why I don't like streaming doing this, because I don't get to watch my stuff, don't get to listen to funny stuff. Keep me entertained while I'm trying to focus because of how crappy my brain is. Very weird doing this when it's silent. And plus now I can't see the chat either. So basically, it's like I'm talking to myself. I don't have the screen in front of me, so I can't see anything. See any comments or nothing like that. So it's kind of a crappy setup. But we'll deal with it. If y'all want to watch it, you can. If not, I won't even know if there's no viewers or not. So if I can't see the screen, nobody's watching me. All right. It's 11 o'clock. Let's at least prep a couple molds here. Prep for tonight, if I can. get to any more pouring tonight. I don't know if I can, but let's see. So this is the usual wood that I pour on. So all right, see here. What should we do? I'll do a Buddha. Haven't done one of those in a while. Okay, do a Buddha. Mix up the sand. We have Tuesday and Wednesday off, so maybe I can make my setup more camera and stream friendly, you know? Because right now it's fresh. Just got this set up in here so I can start prepping where it's warm. Making my cheese ball. Let me pop over here. Yeah, when I can't see the chat, it's weird. Use an old phone to see. Yeah. All right, making my cheese ball. See, where's the camera at? So you can see my prepping. Okay. A lot of people use those flexible food strainers with the handles, but I can't constantly push my sand through that. So hurts my fingers. So just cheese grate that sucker. Cheese grate it. I ain't got time to push my sand through tiny holes when I can just do that. My hands already hurt by doing certain things. Pretty sure I got old people hands. Arthritis. Early arthritis. I don't know. It could be just because I'm lazy. Don't work with my hands too much, so they get weak. Then check out what I found. SGT, you're still in here. I found an aluminum based or steel based, some kind of metal based roller. I was so happy. We were in uh, uh, it was in Galena, Illinois. It was a kitchen shopping store in Galena, and I looked over, and I shit you not, this is exactly what I've been looking for. A sturdy metal rolling pin. So I can do this, and it doesn't get any pits like wood does, and it doesn't really stick. It's so convenient. It's so nice. Makes you feel like you're not going to break it. Manhandle it. Roll the shit out of your sand. Now, one detail that a lot of people don't really do, they don't really think about, is the fact that the sides of your flask prevent your sand from going even with the backside. So it can also prevent your sand from going down and flush into your mold. So a lot of times I'll roll it tight, and scrape off around the middle. So that way all your pressure goes on the sand instead of your flask. Because you're putting most of the pressure on your flask, because that's a hard surface right there. So I like to keep the pressure the most on the sand itself. I'm not really sure if it really makes a difference, but I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I feel like I am putting more effort on the edge of the flask than the actual middle where I need all the pressure. So kind of just made that a thing. In my head it makes sense, but not a lot of people might think that. So I just it popped in my head. It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. Or the other way around. Not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. Now, when you don't want to disturb the side, like you gotta really keep that side strong, you can always poke needle venting is what I call it. Needle venting down through the back, because the back you can sand flat. You can get rid of those. Sometimes, you know, it, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes venting around the sides is kind of hard. I don't know. In some instances, I found that. Um, oh, the the cooling. If you ever had the cooling, the cracking in the middle of your pore, um, needle venting can prevent that. It can prevent your pore from sinking or like collapsing on the middle of it, because that silver is trying to contract from the steam, I'm guessing. And so I just tried venting the back of it, and it helped prevent the cooling. I guess it's like a rapid cooling. I'm not exactly the science behind it, but it like caves in on the middle. Definitely when your pore is really thick, a thick body pore, it can collapse because it tries to fill in the thicker parts and cools, and then it collapses on itself. All right, I'm gonna do this outside because this is noisy, and I don't want to wake my wife with it, so I'm gonna take it outside and whack it. Yeah, yeah, I said whack it. Ginger's gonna go outside and whack it behind the door, behind the house. Didn't turn out too bad. Not my problem. What's up, dude? Hi, SGS. Forgive me, but you sound like shit. Yeah. I'm getting a little thirsty. My mouth is dry. Oh, Pang, why do you cut around the mold? So, it's to avoid the walls from caving the sand around. So let's see. You got a thick wall right here, okay? Thick wall. Instead of having that all come out of the sand, it's best to only have half, because when you get intricate parts like this, see that area right there? It's best to have that barely coming out of the sand when you pull it up. It's just less resistance. It gives you less resistance, and it's better to come out of the sand. So it's best to cut that resistance in half, and also it gives you an outline on the other side of where your mold is. And it also can help line up this piece after it's done, because this creates like a ridge line, and it lines up, it sits inside of this part right here. So it basically is like a seat to match up to the face of that. So you got two halves. See, these can only do so much. Sometimes they're off, sometimes they're off by a little bit. So it'll give you better cleaning if it's nicely lined up. And that ridge line, that seat, will make it line itself up with the sand and help it come out. So got something thick like this, and if this goes side to side at all, it'll break that sand and make it fall off, make it fall apart on the edges. So it's best to leave less resistance on each side, so you're only removing half the sand capacity on the ridge line, if that makes sense. Unlike something like this, where you have no straight wall, all you have to do is brush this off, clear it out, and it'll pop right out without no resistance. Yeah, I need some water. My voice is all scratchy. So let me show you a good example of this. So if you have something like this, with that much wall, if it leans or comes out at all at an angle, it'll break that sand. So definitely with something intricate like this, where you got ridgeline that, like this, straight, broken like that, this. Yeah, it can get pretty crazy. But yeah, this is probably good, like, I don't know, 24 ounce, maybe. No, definitely over a kilo. A kilo mold. Probably like 40 ounces. But yeah, that's why we cut around the edge. And let me show you a good example here of cutting around the edge. All right, so another reason why we cut around edge, because sometimes the edge is above. So if it's sitting in the sand like that, we have to cut in something to make sure it comes out of the sand. Oh, decent. So yeah, this is my kilo Drake. But yeah. It's always best to have the least amount of resistance coming out of that sand. Then, of course, the double dragon mold. Double dragon mold. See, the edge on this isn't completely straight up and down. So if you don't cut below that ridge where it's got a negative equity on the edge, it's not completely straight up and down. You got to cut below that curve. So that way when it comes out, it's not catching and giving you resistance on that edge. But yeah, very detailed, description of why we do that. It's honestly really small of a description, but it's really a good understanding needs to happen because when you're also open casting like you do, and you try to pull those pieces out of your sand and it catches around the edge, that's because when you try to take it out, it's shifting just ever so slightly that it's not pulling up vertically. So when you do that, when you want it pulled up vertically and you don't really have much room to work with, you just tip it over and drop it. Drop it. That way it forces a vertical drop onto that piece. If it's out of the sand, it has no resistance, it'll drop vertically out of that sand without any resistance. Because when you pick it up by the edge, it's not coming out vertically completely. And I see people also put a little screw in the back of it, but that also can create human error. So if you're putting a screw in there, it's completely center, but your hand isn't completely vertical. It's not pulling it completely vertical. So it's gonna tip the edge a little bit, if you will. The best way to get a vertical extraction is the way I was shown by Mask Man, is to do this. So we got this end. This has the mold like this, okay? When you started, has the mold like this, and you make sure your mold isn't touching the edge of this. And all you have to do is slam it down. It'll create that completely vertical downward force in which it will extract if it's perfectly like out of aligned with the sand. Like if there's no sand covering it anywhere, it'll come clean out. So that's the best description I can give you. Got a jet. Thank you for letting me drop in and hang out. You always do such great work, my friend. Stay safe. Cranky, you have a cranky day, my dude. Stay cranky. I'll try to stay happy. Try to, at least. But talk to you later, my dude. But yeah. That's why we use base relief models, because there's no like resistance, at least best least resistance for molds to come out of sand. It also needs to be the same on the edge. That way it doesn't pull out any sand. All right. I think I'm just gonna end it there. It's getting kind of late, and yeah, getting a little tired. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there, and might come back and do this tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Like I said, streaming really makes me slow down on sand casting because I feel like I need to talk, describe things, anybody comes in, I need to say hi, yada yada. But it really does kind of slow down the process compared to me watching stuff and listening to stuff. Yeah, dude, appreciate you, man. And yeah, I did live streams a little bit ago too, every Wednesday. So look back in my history, and I'll also talk your ear off as well. You might have to fast forward it. But yeah, here's all my molds. Another popular one, angry spines or spikes. There's the bigger, like 7-ounce Buddha's shrine, prosperity shrine is what I call it. But yeah, bunch of nice little molds. My dragon bar. But yeah, I can 3D print anything. I'll just have to send it to Maskman first, and then get that going if you need anything printed. Double dragon. All right, getting distracted. All right, y'all have a great day. See y'all most likely Saturday if I don't go streaming before then.
Dragon sickness. I've seen it before. That look. The terrible need. It is a fierce and jealous love, Bilbo. It sent his grandfather mad.